Good morning, everybody. Thursday, September 28th, end of the quarter, birthday tomorrow. Uh, big day today as we've got the initial jobless claims at 8:30. We've got GDP at 8:30. Then we start getting some Fed speakers during the day, Galsby, whatever, Gosselby, Gooseberry. 1 o'clock we get Fed Cook, but at the end of the day, after the close, it's Jerome Powell. So, yeah, it's a big day, and the Jerome Powell happening after the market closes is going to have a lot of people guessing. So, technically, we're oversold, but from a data point of view, got quite a few things in your favor. So, bring it over here, straight over to the spreadsheet and SPX. We are getting range. That's good. That's very good that we're getting range. When you get range, you also got the VIX. So this is not good. And what you'll notice, which I've noticed, is as we broke down below this plus 100% above the COVID lows, things have started to sell off a lot faster. We were at 43.74 after that gap down from 44.02, and we've sold off pretty hard. We've sold off 100 points since September 21st, last 5 days. But where it comes really is how we came to that 42.65, which had been the target. Now, yesterday we lost that, and we lost it on the same bullshit that had everybody shifting into bear mode back in May when we did have sell signals and we were due to have a dip. When McCarthy was saying that, no, we're not going to get a debt deal, the U.S. is going to default. And if you remember going back there in May and in the beginning of June, we were on the verge of defaulting. And all of a sudden, a deal came through, and the rainbows came out, and the unicorns, and then NVIDIA invented AI 700 times during a fucking bullshit earnings release. And we bounced all the way up to where we are. And the same thing happened yesterday. Same thing took place yesterday as we started our sell down when McCarthy said, I'm not going to put this debt deal on the floor. There's no way. And then right there in the afternoon at around 2 o'clock, Chuck Schumer said, I've got everybody on board. The deal's going to go. And we wound up bouncing. We went 42.92 down to 42.38 and then up to 42.74. It was a massive multi-100 point move day, although the range on the day only showed that we traded 53 points top to bottom. Closed green above the previous close, closed relatively flat, only down 8 points, but here we are going into the end of the quarter tomorrow and Jerome Powell. The dip on SPX is exactly 8%. The dip on QQQ is almost 10%. We've got 3 red weeks in a row over on the QQQ. We have 2 red months in a row on the QQQ. On the SPX, we have 3 red weeks in a row. We are undoubtedly getting that second down month, and don't have it on here, but we have now moved, do our math, real basic. Our top on September was 45.41 minus our bottom that we hit yesterday, and we've had a 300 point range month. Adequate, sufficient, and if I went back and looked, it would probably be the second biggest month of the year, with the biggest one being right there, 301, which was March, where, as you remember, we had the big drop off of February, which don't have on there, but I know that February was not the big month. March was the biggest month, and we have matched the biggest month as far as range goes, talking nonsense to a lot of people that don't really get into their data, and they just want to know, what do I buy, what do I sell? Well, this is how we come up with that kind of stuff. So I am still going to continue to pound the table that we are going to close above 43.10 tomorrow. I'm going to continue to pound the table on that with my data supporting and the technical setups that we have and the VIX crush that's coming, that we are going to close green for the week, above where we opened on Monday, above 43.10.62. That's the reason why you have your trade of the week over there. So again, over on the spreads, I was going with the 42.40, 42.45 because of that 42.41 gap and the distance below that 42.65. Held up quite well until it fell apart there mid-morning, and then it really started to threaten that gap. And we touched into that gap, 42.41, 42.21, from the beginning of June. And Chuck Schumer came out with his glorified Nancy Pelosi just bought calls comment, and boom, boom, we wound up making a close to 50-point run to the upside. Again, it was a pretty good day, but it's got a lot of bells and whistles with it when you are trying to buy tops or short tops and buy bottoms. And that's where we're at right now. So the trade of the week continues to be right there. $1.50 risk yesterday, $3.50 credit. Can't get better than that with a plus 200% gain. If you could get $2.50 credit, again, you're looking at 100%. And again, with it being 3 red weeks, worst scenario. Roll the trade over to next week. Definitely taking it on, widen it out one spread, boom, 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 up and away you go. But we are getting a green week. We are going to close above 43.10. That's where I'm at. If not, I will shave off my goatee. So QQQ, again, we've had a 9.44% bounce, almost 10%, 8% on the SPX. We knew that we were going to get this drop going into September. We knew that we were going to get the drop when we were playing it already in August, knowing that September was going to continue to be bad. And that's the reason why all the puts made money. And so we'll just go on to the charts. So here, 5-day mark, 43.75 5-day highs, 5 days from now. And we have moved down to 42.38. Our big gap is up here, right up here, 43.37, 43.13. That's from over the week. That's from Monday's gap down. The open, 43.10. Your main primary pivot and focus is going to be that 43.11. Down below you, obviously that 42.41, but we have to give respect to the 200-day moving average, which is sitting down there at that big 41.98.70 pivot. No choice but to give respect to the 200-day moving average, that it could very well make a presence for a few minutes, maybe for today, but it is definitely something that has to be given a little bit of respect. Come over on the VIX, and the VIX, here we are, broke down below 1811 overnight, bounced right back up above it because futures are looking pretty shitty. They've been looking pretty shitty for the past couple of hours. But again, you have your VIX crush coming tomorrow on Friday. Duplicate this, move it on over, and wherever we wind up closing today, you're going to wind up getting your VIX crush tomorrow, which apparently get down below 17, you're going to be pressuring that 1622, and that's where you start to shift momentum, with tomorrow being the full moon as well. Come on over here to the QQQ and looking at how we have made this move to the downside, and it is looking like a very clean ABC. A move down 8.5%, a move up 7.3%, move down almost 8% from the highs over here in September 1. Very clean looking, strong ABC with 5 waves down over here on this last one on the C wave, right to the 200 extension, continuing to push here on 354. Your primary requirement is to get a close above 355.92. 355.92, you start looking at 357. However, since we're going to go ahead and discuss this, you know what? I'm not going to discuss it. I'll put it out there over the weekend because there's absolutely no reason to go jumping in front of the train right now. Here's your UVXY. Now, I haven't traded UVXY in quite a while. But the UVXY being connected to the VIX, and what we're looking at here in these red and green marks are your Fridays. And with your Friday crush due to occur tomorrow, might not be a terrible decision to go and play the 17 puts expiring tomorrow, September 29th. So checking them out earlier, they're only $1, maybe a little bit less than $1, and your downside move is around that 16.29. Haven't played it in a while, but considering that you've got Jerome Powell and you have the VIX crush coming, very ample opportunity that we might be able to play it. SPY, same thing that you're looking at here on SPY. You got your big gap down there. I'll remove all your studies for you. We've got that big gap down here from June, 424, 422. Got inside of it, a little bit different on SPY because you get the dividends, so you can obviously fill the gap a little bit easier. But yeah, your 425 has continued to be your strong point right here, right below this 425 pivot, which is your July 10th lows. 426.39, your primary focus, 429.35, unseen in 2 days, and I'm still looking for us to get up there to that 431, 431.98 as we go into tomorrow. So this is where we're at. This is where we're working with. There is no need to continue to stress over forcing a position in a trade. The beginning of bounces are pains in the ass trying to time them perfectly, just as much as they are when you're trying to short the top, as everybody knows is a major problem. Spreads are working out, the safe spreads, risky trades, going to continue to be big problems because of these ways that we've been selling off the last couple of days. But again, I will continue to pound the table. I do believe we are going to close green above 43.10 on Friday. For SPY, that would be up around 430. And tomorrow at 4 o'clock, you got Jerome Powell, or today after the close, we have Jerome Powell, and we all know what that means for everybody who trades.
Fuck your fucking options. Fuck your fucking zero DTE calls. Fuck the economy. Fuck inflation. Fuck your soft landing. I am sick of this shit. Fuck Wall Street. Fuck you all. I'm fucking out.